It is 90.3 KEXP, streaming all over the world at KEXP.org. My name is Troy Nelson. Here we are in the KEXP live room, and we are blessed to have this group with us today. It is the one, the only, Titus Andronicus.
What did they vote? They're taking an old election, flying out with a different name. We're calling our own exception, and a song I heard playing. There's another innocent victim, shivering in the frigid cold. They're making a dirty fortune, sounds but trouble, man. Nothing but trouble, man. Nothing but trouble, man. Nothing but trouble, man. I am looking for the 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 trouble.
So good. Titus Andronicus live here on 90.3 KEXP, streaming all over the world at KEXP.org. That song, Troubleman Unlimited, and the song before it, Just Like a Ringing Bell, both off of the latest album, An Obelisk.
Just like ringing a bell.
Just like
not to
ringing
nitpick.
a bell. A bell. Thank you, Titus Andronicus, for taking the time stopping by the KEXP studios.
You are so welcome. This is such a treat. What a thrill to be in this famous room.
Do you feel like you're in the internet?
I always do.
Last year's album, Productive Cough, and this latest record came out seemingly back to back. And I was curious if all of those songs from last year's record and this year's were all written and recorded at the same time, or were they at two completely, totally separate recording projects?
Well, they were recorded separately, but they were part of a larger master plan, which is obviously part of a larger grand scheme. But not to get lost in the weeds on that, you know, the master plan from the jump was that, you know, like you said, or started to say, you know, A Productive Cough, our album from last year, is a little more acoustic. And this new album, An Obelisk, is rock, you know, it's a rock album. It's all fast songs. And so it was basically like a way to, you know, demonstrate the width and the whole spectrum of Titus Andronicus' artistic interests without, you know, piling on too much material for the audience to effectively absorb in one sitting, and also to hopefully create two distinct, cohesive, digestible, accessible statements that, if you wanted to, you could look at them as two parts of a larger statement.
Mm-hmm. I like that. It wasn't too long ago in this very room I sat down with Craig Finn, and it seems like your two paths have crossed many times over the years.
That's my buddy, yeah.
I was going to say, how did your relationship start with Craig and the Hold Steady?
We played this, one of these weirdo festivals in England like about 10 years ago, and he just rolled up on me and was, you know, just doling out the praise for our wonderful debut album, and I guess he called it beautiful, our beautiful debut, and just being the gregarious, charming, affable, open-hearted man that he is, and we basically took it from there. It wasn't a year later that I was cat-sitting for him, and since then, you know, he's become my, you know, he's my OG, and he's my most trusted advisor in this crazy industry, and I'd hardly make a major move without consulting him.
Yeah.
As I did about just 2.5 weeks ago. He always makes time for me. Love you, Craig, if you're watching this. Great guy.
Yeah, he was very nice to sit down and talk to.
He's wonderful. He's really a very sweet angel. Thank you, Craig.
And speaking of friends, my childhood friend Shane produced an album in 2011 that I heard you really loved, and that is David Comes to Life by Effed Up. What is it about Effed Up's music that excites you?
Effed Up? I never heard of that band.
Well, for radio purposes, we're calling them that.
The great band from Canada, you know, even though they are ostensibly a punk band, they do not shy away from larger, more ambitious statements. And to me, that's basically as punk as it gets, because punk was never supposed to be about limitations. It was never meant to be a rigid orthodoxy or a particular set of aesthetic signifiers. The only thing that punk should signify is freedom, and they have used the freedom of punk to expand in a variety of directions, including on their Merge Records debut, Dose Your Dreams, from last year. You gotta love them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're
Thanks, Effed Up.
Fantastic. Also,
shout out to 10KM, you know, the best guitarist out there, basically.
Also, in a recent interview, I heard you mention Albert Camus and his essay, The Myth of Sisyphus.
Yeah, I have that book in the van right now, matter of fact.
And it really resonated with me as well. But for our listeners, can you explain Sisyphus and pushing the boulder up the hill?
Oh. Well, this is a figure from, classical mythology, and basically this poor jerk, he got, resigned to the underworld, and, his fate was that, for eternity he would have to, as you say, push this boulder up to the top of the hill. That was his goal. He was supposed to get it up there. But his curse was that he never would be able to do it, because as soon as he got nearly to the summit, he would somehow lose control of the rock, and it would slide back down to the base of the hill, and he would have to go back down there and do it again, and he would do this for all eternity. And this, according to Albert Camus, this is basically how we live, because we're in pursuit of some kind of satisfaction or fulfillment, or we think that if we make a certain series of choices, we can basically coast and we'll be on easy street, but that's illusory. That's never going to happen. And Albert Camus argues that the real nobility of our human species is the fact that we go back to the bottom of the hill and push the boulder again, knowing full well that the top of the hill is completely inaccessible. It's kind of like the same way that Charlie Brown will continue to assemble the baseball team season after season, knowing full well they're never going to even win a single game. Or how he'll continue to try and kick the football, knowing that Lucy will pull it away at the last moment. It doesn't matter if you kick the football or not. It's the attempting to kick the football that matters.
I love that. Thanks for explaining that. And
you got it. It's a joy to do it.
And for all of our listeners and myself, I know that we'd love to hear a couple more songs if that is cool with all of you.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm pretty tired after the first two. Should we try one? Yeah. Maybe one more from the An Obelisk album? Okay.
Thank you.
We'll try.
Yes. It is Titus Andronicus live here on 90.3 KEXP Seattle.
No count off those.
I blame society. I blame society. That's why I started inside my diary. I hide the problem saying that I blame society. Society to blame. I'm not sick, it's the world that is behind, that it sees behind a giant sign, twice the size of life between passing to be the sign I describe it with silence. You are afraid, that's how they try to die, tightly bind us, recline in our seats. Oh my, they think that we are spineless, I think they are cheats. It seems the opposite spinning swiftly towards great catastrophe. That's my anxiety. It's the opposing team to my sobriety. Who's reliable? The fate is no surprise to me. It's always the same, and I blame society. Society to blame. They provide a tryout dream, lying through their teeth. I find the 1,001% of thriving by the sea. Oh Jesus, they supply us being up Phoenix, while APC green. Oh Christ, they prescribe a violent beating 90 times a week at least. They line us up in primaries for psychiatry retreats till they finally find the virus makes us up so late. I'm not sick, the system is despicable and twisted. There's nothing that you can fix with wishes. Tricks you with that little kiss, then kicks you when you fuss off bitching. Picking it up, there's credit. First will come down vigorously. Little bits of it are in your bloodstream from a single visit. Isolated sentence is a thing of fiction. We're all complicit. A thing of bliss all blade. Now blame society.
That's so fun. I love this rock music stuff, honestly. Could we do one more, Troy, please?
Absolutely.
I'm having too much of a ball. God, if this is fun. Imagine the fun we're going to have at the Crocodile tonight, right here in Seattle with the great band Control Top.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, this is almost too much excitement for one day. Ooh. You got to love this Pacific Northwest rock stuff, could I tell you? Oh, Lord. Ooh. Oh, yes. We'll do one more song from the new album, An Obelisk, if that's okay. You can pick that up on Merge Records. Oh, my goodness. This next song is about well, you'll see. You ready, fellas? You ready? Yeah?
Tumult around the world. Tumult around the world. Everywhere there's someone suffering. Tumult around the world. Everywhere there's someone hurting. Someone over on the chain. Everywhere there's someone using. Their pillage to the soul pain. Everywhere there's someone finding something interesting. Everywhere there's someone hiding from the tumult everywhere. Tumult around the world. Tumult around the world. Everywhere there's someone suffering. Tumult around the world. Oh yeah. Everywhere there's someone dying. There's no woman giving blood. Everywhere there's someone crying. There's tumult around the earth. Everywhere there's people dreaming. People longing on the hope. People praying for deliverance from tumult around the globe. Everywhere there's someone talking. Trying to put another day. Yes, you're instead of walking from the tumult all around. Tumult around the world. Tumult around the world. Everywhere there's someone suffering. Oh yeah, tumult around the world. Tumult around the world. Watch out! Tumult around the world. Tumult around the world. Everywhere there's someone suffering. Tumult around the world. Yeah. Tumult around the world. Tumult around the world. Everywhere there's someone suffering. Oh yeah. Tumult around the world. Tumult around the world. Tumult around the world. Everywhere there's someone suffering. Oh yeah. Tumult around the world. Tumult around the world. Tumult around the world. Tumult around
That is the almighty Titus Andronicus here, live on 90.3 KEXP.
Literally God.
Literally God, blowing the roof off the place, which is what they're going to do at the Crocodile tonight. I couldn't recommend seeing this band live more, so definitely get out and see Titus Andronicus while you can. Thank you all again for taking the time and stopping by the KEXP studios.
Thank you. It
Thanks
really
for
has
having
been
us.
our pleasure. Wonderful.
Yeah, you are welcome back anytime. The door's always open to you.
See you
guys.
tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. That was Titus Andronicus live here on 90.3 KEXP Seattle.
All right.
That's killer.
Sweet. Thanks, y'all.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.